Hey guys, my name is Francisco Hernandez, and today I'm doing another episode in my Building the Shot series, going over the image that's on the screen right now. And in case you guys don't know what this series is, it's a series where I break down everything I can about how a single photo of mine was created. And in this case, it's that photo that I just showed you on the screen of Sarah Beth. This photo shoot was actually from a Houston meetup, and I'll go ahead and just leave a link to the people who organized that entire meetup and that photo shoot, so you guys can follow them in case you're in that area as well. The entire light setup was actually somebody else's that attended the photo meetup, a new friend of mine by the name of Caesar. I want to say thanks to him for letting me use the entire light setup. It was the Explore 600 Pro, also known as the Godox 8600 Pro, and the 36-inch Angler boombox, which I didn't even know they made. I do have a couple of their other softboxes, but I didn't know that they made a 36-inch fast open softbox, so that was the one I used. Here's a photo of that entire light setup in case you guys want to see it. Again, links to the softbox, the light, the stand, and those rolling wheels on the bottom will be linked in the description area below. The camera I used was the Sony a7R III with the Sigma R35 1.2, which is my favorite lens for wide angle shots, which is something that I wanted to take at this photo shoot. And I also did use, I believe, a 6-stop ND filter. Before I continue though, I want to let you know that this video is sponsored by Adorama. Adorama is an industry-leading retailer that has been serving photography, videography, and audio customers for almost 50 years now. Their motto is everyone is a creator, and they do their best to unleash that creator within us all by providing us with the tools and expertise necessary to get the job done right. I personally shop at Adorama for both the great deals on products I use and recommend, plus the great customer service on those products as well. If you find yourself interested in any product I talk about in today's video, definitely check out the links that are going to be in the description area below, and be sure to use those links if you decide to order. On the screen right now is the first photo that I took at this awesome location, which is actually where they have the Houston air shows. In case you're in that area, you might know how it looks like. And this photo was actually a test shot. I wanted to just see how the lighting looked like. I typically do want the light to be much closer, which you guys might know if you've seen my work. So this shot was actually not one that I lit properly, but I still ended up really liking when I reviewed the shot on my camera. So that's why I ended up not going ahead and just changing the lighting, and instead just going ahead and taking another shot without the light in the way, so that I can use a little bit of that wing of the plane to kind of composite into this shot to remove the light setup. But actually, now that the Photoshop AI tool called Generative Fill is out, I probably wouldn't even need to take these secondary shots without the light in the way for future photo shoots. What you can tell from this shot is the light is not firing, so you can actually see how the light, with the ambient light, would have lit Sarah Beth if I just shot with natural light. And to me, it's not the best. This very next shot is also without the lighting off, so you can see exactly how the light looked like on her, the ambient light looked like on her. But one thing that was going on when this photo shoot was occurring was that the clouds were passing by the sun. So sometimes in the shot that I might show you, it might look like harsh lighting, like the sun was just harshly lighting the subject, but that's because the clouds were going in and out. So in this photo, if you pay attention to the shadows, the light is a bit softer. The shadows are a bit softer because I believe the clouds were going a little bit over the sun in this photo. Here is with the light on, the off-camera flash lighting her now, so you can see exactly what it's doing. And I want to say that the light was at 1/2 power in this photo. One thing I wanted to tell you guys about the posing that was involved with this entire photo shoot was something that was a bit of a challenge to me, to be honest with you guys. I was heavily relying on Pinterest photos or other photos I was seeing on Google of pinup photo shoots, and kind of relying on those images to kind of guide me into how I would pose Sarah in this photo shoot. This was my very first time working with her, and I didn't want to pose her in any kind of way that she wouldn't want to be posed. So I was definitely kind of using the poses that she was giving me and then maybe adjusting them towards the camera or for the camera. So I was pretty much doing that throughout the entire photo shoot. One thing that you'll notice from this shot to this next shot is the ambient light is a bit brighter, and now she's overexposed. And the reason for that is because in this previous shot, I'm at f2.2, 1/160th of a second. And in the next shot, I'm at f1.2 and now at 1/250th of a second. And I wanna say that's about 1 to maybe slightly higher than 1 stop of difference in exposure. So that's why the ambient light looks different. And I wanna say that the light was completely unchanged as well. So I left the same output of the lighting for this shot to this shot. So that's why she's now overexposed, because now I need to reduce the output to get a good exposure on Sarah. So that's exactly what I did for this next shot. I lowered the output of the strobe, and now I have a good exposure on Sarah. I know that some of you out there might say aperture controls flash and shutter controls ambient, but that is a very flawed rule, a photography rule that I definitely need to make a video on one day to kind of explain why it's flawed. from this photo to this next one, all I did was just change the pose a little bit. But what you can see on the ground, like I said before, the clouds were going past the sun. So you can see a big difference in the ambient light in the shadows. So from this previous shot, you can see kind of on the ground, the shadows and the ambient light hitting the floor are kind of blending together. But in this next one, you can see more defined shadows. I pretty much then just adjusted the pose slightly to get different kind of compositions, different poses. And then I took a shot without the light so I can move it in post to these other shots. And then I did grab a behind the scenes from that photo, from that location, that specific location in front of the plane. I decided to leave her in this exact same spot, but then change my composition and the lighting, which resulted in this kind of new shot in this exact same spot. And again, I was heavily relying on different photos that I was seeing from Pinterest, and I was showing her these photos and I was saying, you know, what do you think about this pose? What do you think about this pose? And when she liked the photo, then I went ahead and just did my own version of that shot. This photo, of course, her eyes are closed, and I kind of was really liking the fact that her eyes was closed because, I don't know, it just has like a feeling of just like basking in the sunlight. But for the next photo, I had her look to the camera, and then the next photo, we changed the pose. But one thing I wasn't really liking with this shot and this next one is the fact that her hand kind of looks like it's just appearing out of nowhere behind her head. So from this to the next photo, I wanted to see a little bit of her elbow, but I still didn't really 100% really like this pose. But I did think it looked enough for me to take the photo and also take a natural light version of the shot, which is why you see this one here. And right now I want to ask you guys, what do you think should be different about the pose? Because I want to give you the answer in a quick second, but I want to see if you guys can see if there's anything that you would change. Well, the one thing that I saw was I did like the fact that I can see her elbow a little bit now, but I felt like there needed to be some space between her elbow, this whole arm, and her head. So that's why I went ahead and grabbed a little bit more of space between her elbow and her head, which resulted in the shot, which I like a lot more. Once I really liked this shot, then I went ahead and grabbed a photo with the light out of the way so that I can remove it in post. And then I went ahead and grabbed a behind the scenes, which is what you're seeing on the screen right now. This is the first photo in that new spot in the plane, the new composition in front of the plane instead of the side. And I actually took this shot overexposed. It's about 1.5 stops overexposed. And I just reduced it in post in Lightroom to get this exposure that you're seeing on the screen right now. I'll go ahead and show you guys exactly how it looks like overexposed right now. But as you guys can see, I was able to recover the highlights, and I actually really do like this shot now that I'm seeing it again while I'm making this video. And now with this next photo, this very next photo, you can see that there's much more ambient, and this is a photo that I really did enjoy and why I wanted to go ahead and edit it and make this video for you guys. The edit for this photo was actually a bit minimal when it came to Lightroom. It was a bit more heavier in Photoshop, but I'm actually gonna skip showing you guys the edit in Lightroom and Photoshop because it'll make this video probably like 8 minutes longer, and I don't want to make it too long. But I did want to end this video with showing you guys some of the other photos that I took in this exact same spot at this location. What you're gonna see is pretty much me letting her just vary the poses and the expressions and where she's looking at. But what you can actually see is, like I said a couple times already, the light on the floor is very much cloudy day in this shot, but in this next one you can see that the clouds got away from the sun and made those shadows more defined on the bottom. This photo and this next one are pretty much the same, just a little bit different in eyesight. Here's with the lighting off, so you can see exactly how the natural light would have looked on her, which I don't really like. Decided to get a little bit closer and take these close-up shots, and again, she's just changing her pose just a little bit. The background is really blurred, and I actually really do like it. It kind of emphasizes the softness that I was really wanting to get. Here's a different composition in this shot. Then I moved back to the front, grabbed this one and this next one, and then finally grabbed a behind the scenes. And that's pretty much it for this photo shoot. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you have any questions about anything that I might have not covered or forgot to cover, then definitely let me know in the comment section below, and I'll reply as soon as possible. I want to say one last thanks to Adorama for sponsoring this video. When they sponsor my stuff, it really allows me to focus and make free content for you guys, free helpful content for you guys. So definitely check them out. Take care, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.